Welcome to the Women of Business Thriving show on IBGR Network provides actionable information and practices the team concept using the Thrive model. The Thrive model teaches business owners and leaders how to view business with a heartfelt mindset, which is deeper than the fixed and growth mindset. To thrive from the heart requires thought, heart feeling, relationships, intention, vitality, and enrichment. Heartfelt mindsets are actively engaged and involved in contribution and focused on internal and external thriving. A show that provides strategies for women to thrive from the heart. The Women of Business Thriving show with Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley begins now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Women of Business Thriving on the IBGR Network. I am your host, Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley, and today I have a guest with me, a guest host. She will be on hopefully the rest of this season, at least majority of the season. I know she will be here with us. So I am a heartfelt leader, the Chief Elevation Officer of the Leaders Innovative Growth Solutions, the founder and the CEO of Bossed Up Lead Hers, a nonprofit organization. And I am a certified emotional intelligence trainer, coach, and consultant, as well as a certified DISC trainer and consultant, a 4-time international best-selling author, in addition to 2 other best-selling books, and a college professor. But today we're going to be talking about men and women. Woo, the thin line. But before that, I want Ms. Robinson to introduce herself.
Hello. I am Sharice Robinson. I am the owner and founder of Victorious Leading Solutions, where we concentrate on professional development, coaching, and training.
I am excited to have you on this show. And as usual, if you have not done so already, I want you to download the app. Just go to the App Store, go to IBGR, and download the app for us. So today's episode is the thin line between men and women who lead. Yes, I love it. So, this show was a spinoff of my original show was Thrive Up, Team Up and Thrive. So I wanted to have a show for women. And so what we do in this show is educate on what women should know to be better leaders, better business owners, and how we differ from men. And also for men to understand that yet we are different, but we're alike in so many ways. So tonight we're going to be talking about some of those differences and similarities, because to me, I don't believe we are extremely different. How about you, Sharice?
I don't think so. I think, like you said, there's some differences, but not vast differences. There are a lot of things that we actually do alike. We just really don't concentrate on those things. A lot of times we try to look at the big difference, gender. And we know that's different, but we don't really think about the style. A lot of times our style is similar. We may go at a different approach in different tone of voice, or maybe just general approach. But at the end of the day, I believe there are lots of similarities along with differences.
Yes, and I agree with you. I know we were talking earlier with, about how some men can be a little sensitive, when they say that women are sensitive.
Right.
And we also have some women who are just like,
bears.
Tough and and, a lot of times we feel that we have to be that way because, they say it's a man's world and, we're just in for the fight. No. Well, first of all, it's a woman's world.
Right. I totally get it. I totally get it. I mean, even as a leadership, as myself being a leader, when I was in the supervisory roles and I was managing men, I had to look at my approach on how I was handling them, because sometimes I had to, you have to check yourself sometimes, like, you're a little rough in that way. Why are you being like that? So,
yes,
because I felt like I had to come, I was brand new in the supervisory role at that point. I was like, I felt like I had to go in with that. You can't walk over me attitude when you really don't have to, because at the end of they respect you in your position. You don't have to like be boisterous or walk around with the attitude on your shoulder, because it doesn't get you anywhere. So I had to check myself early on in my leadership roles and say, pull it together, because you can get more done with honey than you can vinegar, right?
Yes, I remember they used to call me a pit bull. I didn't even know this. I'm like, why are they calling me a pit bull? Because I just thought I had to go in there and just, be tough and bulldoze and just let me no nonsense.
Exactly. And and you don't need all of that. You really don't. You just go in. Basically, for me, I just had to I got this role because I knew what I was doing. So you can still work with people, develop people, without being that bull-nosed person, So it really took me to shape myself, because I started noticing when I walked in the room, the atmosphere changed, and it wasn't for the good. Everybody got tight, and I don't like that. I was like, I want to be an environment where it's, calm and we're all getting along. And once I checked myself, they began to kind of joke with me and include me in their little lunches. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to check yourself. You really have to check yourself early on. But why do we do that, right? But why?
And that's a good question, and I think that we want to fit in.
I think so. I think that was my role.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, and I'm at IT. So, it's a man's world for real in IT. Women are slowly creeping into the, that field. But I was always like, okay, I'm the only one in here. I got to show them that I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So I would be nitpicky, and then I'm in cyber. So being nitpicky and you can't do this and you can't do that, per regulation this and per regulation that, I used to be like, you da 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 da. And they look like I don't like her.
Yeah, totally.
But I do a great job. And they no, it's all about building relationships and connections.
So key.
Yes.
So key. Because and just like you, I was like, I wanted to make sure I was doing a good job, because I'm working human services, and my job then was, helping find placements and stuff. So I wanted to show them look, we have a deadline to meet. And I felt like me being mean to them, or not being mean. Well, I guess I'm gonna say mean.
Yeah, okay, no, you'll be a little tough.
Being tough. Me being tough was like pushing them to meet the deadline. And honestly, they were meeting the deadline, but they were uncomfortable. So you want to be able to do both, right? So it's about relationships. I had to stop one day and say, you know what, such and such, how was your day? How was your wife? How was your kids? And all of a sudden they're like, you really care? And I do care. But it was like almost, I used to be, when I came in, hey, this is what we got to do. Da, 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 da. Get this done. Da, da, da. And at the end of the day, I need this done. So that's not how to get it done. That's not, you want to be off the, I'm say watching the number or meeting deadlines so much that you forget about the person, because they become like working machines, and they don't like it. So it's about building those relationships, learning that when they're late, 10 minutes, it was because, maybe, their child had to, was having a bad morning, and they had to take an extra 10 minutes to say, you know what, baby Jane, I love you. You have a good day. They want to be able to set that atmosphere. But if they can't come to you as an individual, then you take away that relationship. So for me, that was one thing I definitely had to learn.
Yes. I just had some flashbacks, like, man. I actually worked with someone, I won't say if it's past or present, but she was a female, and like us, Black female. And it was like, man, she was just, I'll leave it there. She wasn't so nice. And I wrote a book, a chapter in a book, the Queen Bee Syndrome. So it's like, we have to think that we have to be the only one up there.
Oh man, yes.
Nobody else can be up there with no other woman. We got to be the only woman at the top.
Right.
I don't know why we feel that way. It's crazy.
And honestly, I don't know. I felt like it was not necessarily for I got to be the only one, but I had to say, for me, it was more like I earned this. See me, I earned this. I know what I'm doing. You know,
Yeah.
that type of thing. That was more my thing, because I wanted to develop them, but I didn't take the time to build a relationship with them, start off. So I didn't know if they wanted to be developed or they could have been content where they were. I just felt like, look at me, I can help you. But they didn't want to be that. They were happy doing that. They were happy in their role. I just didn't know it.
Yes.
Or I could help them in other ways, you know?
Yes. Wow. This has been a great conversation. Yeah, I'm loving this. I like having a little co-host. So I know,
and it really helps, though.
Yes, it does, especially with providing examples and stories, because man, we have so many people out there, and I want to get other women on the show to tell their stories. Yes. Because man, it's something out there for you.
It really is. And it, like, we learn from each other. I mean, you know what textbook says, right? But
yes.
to actually walk in it and apply it is where it becomes, you grow from it. That's where the growth comes from. Because you can read all day, but until you have to walk in it and you see the reaction, negative or positive, that's when you just you develop to be that leader, you know?
Exactly. So when we come back, we are going to talk about what makes us so different. So we're going to go over some of those similarities and differences, as well as later on, we're going to talk about how. So we just gave y'all a little bit of juice now. So you got to keep listening to listen to the rest of it. And when we take this quick break, download the app. Make sure you go IBGR. Awesome. Download it. We will be right back.
Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley is a child of God, wife, mother, and grandmother. She was born and raised in Panama City, Florida, before moving to Fayetteville, North Carolina, at the age of 23. She is the lead HERZ architect trademark and supports leaders' elevation to the pinnacle, respect, leadership level, while strategizing team effectiveness and productivity. She specializes in helping women in leadership harmonize family and work life, while developing dynamic and productive teams. She is a dynamic, high-powered professional with a results-charged career in growth and leadership. Her purpose in life is to transform the lives of others by inspiring, equipping, and growing. Her mission in life is to provide leaders with the tools required to ignite an intentional growth mindset that will drive behavior to achieve actionable results of personal value. Her vision is to see women reach their full potential, remove obstacles and knowledge gaps, and lead their life versus just living their life. Find out more about Dr. Lashley at drtracylashley.info. Dr. Lashley is also the President and Chief Elevation Officer, CEO, of the Leaders Innovative Growth Solutions LLC, where her primary focus is leadership, personal growth, and development. She is also an Executive Director for the John Maxwell team. Dr. Lashley is the founder of Bossed Up Lead HERZ, Inc., a nonprofit organization where the mission is to eliminate stereotypes amongst women and girls in the workplace, schools, and communities, while providing a sanctuary to produce intentional growth, success, and significance. The 501c3 organization also generates essential resources to elevate women and girls to an entrepreneurial mindset and executive leadership. Learn more by going to bossdupleaderz.org. She is also an international business radio show host for 2 shows, Women of Business Thriving and Heartfelt Leader SHIFTS, and also co-hosts Thrive Talk with TKT. She co-authored 5 best-selling books, Becoming the Shiro, The New Female Leader, Courageous Enough to Lead, The Professional Woman, Pivoting to a New Normal, and Women Inspiring Nations. I'm Still Standing, and contributed to One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success with Forbes, Riley, and Les Brown. She is managing her own anthology project for a One Habit of the World's Greatest Leaders. She is also writing a solo book for team building. Find out more about Dr. Lashley at drtracylashley.info.
Takenya Robinson is fueled by her passion of equipping others to develop their innate ability to live a victorious life. Inner development is an essential component for intentional growth to achieve personal goals. Ms. Robinson holds both an undergraduate degree in psychology, sociology, and a master's degree in organizational leadership. She has also completed all the coursework for a doctorate degree in organizational leadership. Ms. Robinson is the founder of Victorious Leading Solutions LLC, providing coaching, mentoring, and speaking engagements. She is certified to facilitate, speak, train and coach individuals and groups in the areas of leadership development, professional skills, and personal growth. She is employed by a nonprofit child welfare agency where she has held various leadership positions. These positions have afforded her to oversee areas of strategic planning, quality assurance, compliance, organizational development, and organizational performance. Ms. Robinson's purpose is to serve and coach others to live intentionally, purposefully and authentically by leading others to growth solutions to develop a victorious life.
We are back. You are listening to Women of Business Thriving on the IBGR network. We are talking about thin line between men and women who lead. And I have my co-host here, Miss Sharice, and we are chatting a little bit.
Yes, I'm enjoying myself.
Yes. So now we're going to talk about the what.
Oh,
You heard
wow.
about the why earlier. So, man, what makes us different as leaders?
Interesting. Very, okay. So when I think about leadership, right? I think about like what the essential qualities of leadership. You think about honesty, you think about decisiveness, intelligence, and people don't think about it, but compassion, right?
Yes.
So I feel like those are essential traits of a leader. And I think for myself, I think that both genders have those qualities. It just goes on a scale of when it's in effect and when it's not. What do you think?
Yeah, situational. Because there are some times that, you know, I am just as calm and sensitive and, you know, caring. And then it's other times I got to go in there and just pull the hammer out.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about those differences, I think, okay, a lot of times we think that men are more dominant.
Right.
And they're, you know, they say they focus on the vision more, but I don't think so. And women, they communicate openly, which they do.
Okay.
We love to talk.
Yes.
And we're more enhanced on our social relationships.
Good point.
So yes, because we were talking about relationships earlier and connecting. We are connectors.
That's true.
To a point. And I say that because there are a lot of times as women, we think we have to compete instead of collaborate.
Awesome.
You know, I heard someone, someone said complete versus compete. I said, oh, I like that. John C. Maxwell said that. I was like, oh my goodness. I never looked at it that way.
Honestly, I think sometimes it's a characteristic that we don't know that's in play, because we also look at, you know, others in our field, women or men, and you are supposed to look at them to a degree to glean from, you know, mentorship, you know, kind of a mentorship, but not to compete, you know, because each each individual is different, you know, your team is different. So we have to learn that.
You said something about mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that what makes us different there, because it seems that men have more mentors than women.
I can agree with that.
Yes. I'm like, why? I'm like, oh my goodness. I did my dissertation on leadership, women in leadership in the government system. And that was one of the biggest things that they complained about us not mentoring each other, not having a mentor, having a sponsor. Men will get together and just, you will be like, wait a minute, what about me? Oh, well, so-and-so knows so-and-so. So that's how he got the job. Okay. So is that fair? No,
it's not.
And, you know, I talk a lot about equity too, because people are like, oh, I want to be treated equal. No, you don't. You do not want to be treated equal. And I say this a lot. I actually wrote about it. I'm about to write about another book. But no, men and women, stop saying you want to be treated equal to these men, because you don't want to. You want to be treated fairly.
Fairly. Mm-hmm.
There is one word between equal and equity, and that is fairness.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the example, my one employee is like, why do you use the cookie example? Because everybody loves cookies. So if I bake 2 dozen of cookies, one pan was nice and golden brown. The other can was like, a little bit burnt. I give Bill the nice golden brown cookies. I give him his 12 cookies. I give Jill the 12 cookies and they're burned. Guess what? Were they treated equally?
Yes, because they all got 12. Mm-hmm.
But was it fair?
Right.
Exactly. So I'm like, yeah. And when you look at it that way, you're like, That's why the title of my chapter was Stop Treating Them Equal.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, that was a great topic. I'm just tooting my own horn right now.
No, you have to, because that really makes you dig and makes you really think, because so many people say that, but the fairness is where they really need to concentrate on. So that really makes a vast difference.
Yes.
Good analogy.
Yes. It's like, oh yeah. And another thing they're saying that men think about the big picture more than women, but women use intuition.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you say that they really concentrate on the vision, because the vision of whatever whatever it may be is the big picture, where we kind of move with, how we feel.
Yeah. But then they talk about women are more emotional. This right here. I don't think so.
You have to tread softly there. You know what I mean? Because in a sense, I can agree with that. But it's not to the degree what everybody makes it seem. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To our nature, we are more compassionate. To me, these are my thoughts. This is the book of me. Okay, so don't shoot me for my opinion here. But I do feel like to a standard degree that we are, a little bit more compassionate.
But we're not emotional.
Not emotional, but compassion is an emotion.
Yeah.
So it's when you think of emotion, people think about, oh, she's so temperamental. Every time I turn around, da, 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 da. And it can go both ways. It's about how you look at the glass. So I get what you're saying. I totally get it. But I have to say, where there's a ton of emotions that we could think about,
Yes.
So
I agree with that to a point.
Right. So it's like it's like the fairness versus equal. It's about perception here.
Yeah, and y'all, we are talking about the what makes us different, because we're going to tell you how you could change some of these things, in the next 2 segments. But we want to get down to what makes us different, and they say that men are more direct. Now, I can be direct.
I can be direct too. I can go in for the best of them. I'm not going to put too many eggs in their basket on that one, because as my grandma said, we can shoot for the hip. So
yes.
Totally,
Yes.
So I'm not gonna say that's all a man thing.
Yeah.
But but you could take out the men have less emotion in what they're saying. So
okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, some men, because I know some men, it's like, man, I'm tougher than you are. Like, how are you my boss?
Yeah, true.
And another thing is, they say that men promote themselves more than women. They love to talk about themselves. I did this and I accomplished that. And I could agree with that one. There are some times that women toot their horn, but men, you're going to know about the entire life story.
And I agree with that, because I have to say, I was in a conversation a few weeks back and we were talking about, why do women not put themselves out there more? Is it because we've been told, oh, she's uppity, she talk about herself too much. Yes. She thinks too much of herself.
She thinks she all that.
Exactly. So we were taught, society has taught us kind of like humble, I don't even want to say humble, because you can be humble and still speak of yourself. So I just feel like we've what am I trying to say? How am I trying to say it? I think it's just that we are taught to be more compassionate of others and see about others' needs, you know?
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. And we're also taught to zip it, be quiet
Mm-hmm.
in a room full of men. Yeah, I remember some of them days.
Yes.
Man, okay, this conversation bringing back some flashbacks. Yeah, and even the movie that you watch, like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
in the 20s, and it's like women, they just were submissive. They just hush and let their husbands do all the talking.
Right. And we're at a pivotal time in our history right now, right? What's
Mhm.
tomorrow? So
Yes.
so we're getting to see, you know, a
Ooh,
female vice
yes.
president. Come on now. If
Mhm.
that doesn't speak volumes
Exactly.
of where we're coming, talking about glass ceiling. We're busting through that
We
thing.
busted through it. That's another thing, ladies. Y'all need to look at this. It is time to get from behind that glass wall, bust through that glass
Yes.
ceiling, just make your moves.
Yes. And it's
You are
all about
business owners, your leaders. Come on, let's do
yes.
this.
You don't see me over, but I'm pumping my fist and I'm cheering you on, right? Because if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And I know that
Yes.
cliche is just there, but think about it. If you can honestly picture it, you can achieve it. It's about putting the wheels in motion. And I know we're talking about a different topic, but I get passionate about that.
Mhm. Oh, yes. Man, I'm loving this. Oh, man. Oh, and you know, one other thing they were talking about women. It's like we're social creatures. We're more social than men, but they stress more
Yes.
over the smallest little thing.
Yes.
I'm like, sometimes I be like, look, you don't get in the corner and color.
Yes. Color. I love it.
You know, go have some men be like, hold up, what were you talking about on that show? So we're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to talk about the how you can make these changes as business owners. We'll be right back.
Leaders. My heart is heavy from the examples of leadership that our children are growing up watching. I remember a time when things were much calmer and loving. A time when people truly cared about each other. I also remember going to neighbors' home and having a blast. Those times seem to be slowly slipping away. The world needs you. We are at a point where true leadership is dying and becoming extinct. I invite you to contribute to a book that will become the handbook for effective leadership to transform the life of others. I am a certified John Maxwell trainer, speaker, and consultant who is on a mission to grow more leaders. How can you help my mission? I am so glad that you asked. With your contribution of strategies and tips from your personal leadership journey, you will help other leaders with the keys to leading their communities, organizations, families, and this country to another level. Please join me in this vision of hope. Join me in building transformational leaders, one habit at a time. Please pass the word to other great leaders who will add value to this project. January 20th was a historic moment. I wish for as many women to have their voices heard in this book as possible. Go to bit.ly/join One Habit Leader for more information. Or, go directly to the sign-up form www.onehabit.com/leaders.
We are back. I hope you download the app. You are listening to Women of Business Thriving on the IBGR network. I am your host, Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley, and I am here with Miss Sharice Robinson.
Hello. I'm having fun. Hello.
Yes. This has been a great episode. I can't believe we're halfway finished. Like, oh no.
Yes.
So we are talking about the thin line between women and men who lead. Ooh, we have had some deep conversations, y'all. If you missed it, look, you got to go listen to the podcast later. Because we had some great stuff. Okay, now I want to say, ladies, women, how can you step up to the plate and be a better leader? better business owner for your company.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things as women, we don't know how to go home on time. We have to stay there and, oh my God, I have to finish all of this. And then you get home, you're stressed out because you've been stressed at work.
Right.
Then you're like, oh, I got to cook dinner.
Right.
I got to clean the house up. I got to get the kids, make sure they did the homework. Oh,
Right.
it's just like, I
Never
can't do it
end.
all.
Yes.
So you have to have that work-life balance. I say harmony, but hey, you know about work-life balance. You have to harmonize your life.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you do, Sharice, to
Whew.
stay in harmony?
So you're asking me, and I'm still learning this? Wow. One thing is that you really have to learn to separate. Like, you are human. You have to admit that enough is enough and putting those limitations in place, right? Because you will quickly burn out. And when you burn out of everything. You won't have any energy to give to your family. You're not meeting your own expectations because you don't have anything else to give. So you have to learn how to just separate. And how do you do that, right? So for me, I do, like, some days is, if I have to work late, I make sure it's only one day that I'm working late, because I get it. Some things you're not going to be able to get in between 8 and 5 because you have meetings, you have phone calls, you have this, you have that, you have the needs of other people because you are a leader, you're helping others. So there's going to be days that you're going to have that late day. Make it one day though, right? Because you have a family, and that late day means, not another 8 hours. It means setting a limit of, I'll be here an hour and a half and I'm gone.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. So that's one thing that I do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know there a lot of times when, oh man, I had the kids at the house, they all had activities. They were all in orchestra, band, they played sports, and they, were in all these societies, and I was in school and working. I'm like, how am I going to do all of this? So one thing that I learned is building teams will be, oh my goodness, a lifesaver. Because when you build those teams at work, you can leave work on time. You build your teams at home, which people don't know, your family, that's a team.
Right.
So you build that team at home, you don't have to go straight home. So you can have that woosah time.
What?
After work and before you get home. Look, that I have mastered this. So that is what I teach women. Like, look, get your time back. Find your peace.
That is essential. I've learned the long route home, and it always stops me because I'm surrounded by water. So I always end up by the water, and it's my safety place. It's not, I try to go where there's nobody there because I don't even want a car parked next to me. I don't want to think about anybody else, right? So I just want to just go, and it may not even be any music. It's just something to clear my head of what happened throughout the day. So when I walk through these doors, I have more to give because they're going to want it. You don't want to shut your family out. For me, I have 3 kids, right? And for them, I have a girl and 2 boys. Boys are just pretty much, how's your day? Good. My daughter, from the time she left the house to the time she got home, I knew every step, and I wanted to be there. I wanted to hear that. And I had to engage my boys, like, not asking those closing questions because, again, they're your first team, as you said. You have to ask those questions that's going to promote thought and not just good, no, yes. So you have to get that energy back. So my thing is like that long route home, just to say, just to breathe.
Yes, man, I'm telling you, I wish I was back in Panama. Oh my goodness. Being on that water.
Love it.
Man, nothing like it. And that's one thing we talked about, teamwork. That is huge. Ladies, focus on teamwork. You cannot do it alone. And especially as business owners, you need a team. It might not be a team that you're paying for. It might be, hey, I don't know how to do graphic design. Let me go and find somebody in my circle. Hopefully you have a circle around you, a team where you can, hey, I need this done. And they do it for you.
Right.
They're not necessarily on your payroll, but guess what? You can outsource.
Right.
Because it's going to take you more money to try and figure out on your own than it is to pay a professional.
Oh my goodness.
And the reason I say that is because time is money.
Yes.
So you wasting time trying to figure it out. What you think will happen?
Right.
Taking away from you working on your business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man. And being empathetic. Oh.
That's a good one.
Yes. To me, I think this is something that where we as women are pretty good at. But you have some who rather not have relationships. They rather just, I'm just going into work and I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So that does nothing for you.
Right.
Because you don't have a relationship built. You don't have any connections. So when you need a favor, they're going to look at you like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you need that. I remember a time where people were calling me the pit bull. I didn't have those relationships with people. I'm like, I don't need nobody,
Mm-hmm.
just they thought I was cocky, but it wasn't cockiness. It was just like, no, I don't need you. That's just the way my personality was. And I had to learn very quickly that I did need people.
Very true.
It's like, if you don't have the relationship, look, they not going to do you any favors. They're going to be like, not answering your phone calls.
Very true. Very true.
So have you ever had experience with this? I know you said that sometimes you like a little tough.
So being empathetic is something that I feel like everybody needs to learn. Because it's a strong strength to have, it's understanding. It goes beyond feeling the compassion, but it's understanding that people have feelings and people are dealing with different things. So
Yes.
understanding that you too, have bad days, understand that others have bad days as well.
Yes. But we don't care about the others. We just know that.
So it is something that you definitely have to work on, because in a sense, you don't want to say it, but sometimes you can be selfish as a leader, It's about, I need this done, but you have to understand that have a little empathy, build that relationship, understand or ask how someone's doing, how they're doing today. And it really goes a long way. And like you said, it makes a difference from when you're in need and then somebody actually answering your call because you showed them empathy.
Now, ladies, we are not saying be pushovers. No, we're not saying that at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Oh my gosh, not at all.
Yes.
It's about being teachable too,
Oh, that's a good. Oh, yes.
About being teachable, because understanding that you learn every day of your life.
Yes.
The day that you stop learning is the day that you're not here.
Mm-hmm. You hear that, business owners? Yes, you need.
So modeling.
You might be in charge, but you need your people.
Exactly. You have to model being teachable.
Yes.
So that is another key point.
Yes. So what key points do you have?
So we talked about, being teachable, admitting your mistakes, because that's big, admitting that you can make mistakes, focusing on strengths.
Ooh, yes.
Being strength focused, because also often people hear what they're doing wrong, but what are they doing right?
But another thing is we don't want to address our weaknesses.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You hear when you have interviews and you ask,
oh my God, I hate that question. I hate that question. because you don't want to list too many because they're like, why do we need you? You got all these weaknesses.
Exactly. And you can't say you don't have it. They're going like, oh, she thinks she's perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That is something that I work on, as far as my weaknesses. When I say weaknesses, those are my growth areas, right? We don't say weaknesses. They're your growth areas. We're gonna always be growing. Again, that's just like you're learning, you're growing, right? Yes. So those are your growth areas. So don't be afraid to tackle those. You can't see me, but my air quotes on weaknesses, because they are growth areas.
Exactly. Yes. See, you guys, we are having fun here. We're also teaching you a few things. We have more to teach you guys when we come back after this break. Like I said, if you haven't done so, download the app. See you in a minute.
The Women in Business Thriving International Business Radio Show, hosted by Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley, is broadcasted live every Friday at 11 a.m. on IBGR.network. Download the IBGR app to connect with Dr. Lashley and her team. Women in top management positions, business owners, and executive leaders are in lower numbers than their male counterparts. Women tend to shy away from high-power positions. Men and women face challenges that can lead to discouragement. However, this show is focused on educating and uplifting women in business. Some of the show topics are: power of being a woman in business, strategies to excel in building workplace relationships, how to embrace emotional intelligence for business success, challenges and opportunities for women in business, the power of storytelling in business, how to solve business problems like a boss. Think like a boss, act like a leader. Find out more at the ligsllc.com or drtracylashley.info. That's drtracielashly.info.
We are back. You are listening to Women of Business Thriving on the IBGR network. So I hope you have been enjoying the show. I want you to go into the community, download the app, and just hang out with us, connect with us. And guess what? You can listen to us while you're working. So I know a lot of us listen to the radio, a lot of times listen to music in the background. Try listening to IBGR in your background. You might have a pen and paper beside you, because guess what? You're going to hear nuggets dropping throughout the day. So I would advise you to do so. Mm-hmm. Have that pen ready, because I do it a lot. So we are in the last segment, and we are talking about how men and women differ, and how women as business owners and leaders can grow as better leaders. So Miss Sharice Robinson is here with me.
Enjoying myself, really.
And we are going to drop some more gems on you. Ladies, be great listeners. I cannot stress this enough. Talk less, listen more. Woo. Sometimes I'm a talker. I just want to get all my words out, and I give you a chance to speak, and I had to learn. Girl, be quiet. So when you're talking to your team, you need to make sure you're listening to them. Not simply hearing what they're saying, but actually listening.
Active listening.
Yes. Don't preparing a response in your head. Yes. Just listen to what they're telling you.
Yes.
So do you have any horror stories about this, Sharice?
Oh my gosh. Y'all, I was a wreck. So I'm going to be honest. Like, I came out this day like, I got it as a leader. And I was like, quickly learn. No, you don't. So all these skills that we're talking about are things that we've actually had to walk and learn because we thought we had it together and we really didn't. So active listening is something that I really had to work on because again, I am a talker. Like who else? You have something to say? No, I'm talking. No, seriously, you really do have to work on your active listening skills, right? It's conversation. You know, you build rapport that way, you build trust that way. That is a way for you to show your empathy, you know, demonstrating the concern, and then you gather more information because you're asking specific questions to the conversation. So,
oh yes, yes. What about nurturing? Women, you
yes.
need to nurture. You need to help your team develop their own skills and strengths.
Yes. That is
Man,
critical.
yes. Let's all be like, yes, you need to do this. Because if you don't, you're gonna have some problems.
Right.
Because they're not going to feel valued and they're going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I know in my organization, training is something big. It's like employers like, I want to take some training. I want to keep up my skill sets. And they're like, well, we don't have the money for that. Leaders, be creative.
Yes.
If you don't have the budget, guess what? You need to learn how to be a trainer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Have your staff train on skills. I mean, just something. So do you have those issues, Sharice, with no funds?
Yes, we're nonprofit. We're nonprofit. No. But my current organization is phenomenal with training, right? We have a lot of the skill set of our team is amazing. So where I am, I don't have that problem because they believe in nurturing their team for greatness. And I love it. They spend big dollars in training. You know, we say we want it, they make it happen. So I am blessed in that aspect in my career field that they make it happen, even sending us to different not the whole team doesn't go. They're really smart about it now. They don't send everybody, but they'll send that key person that can come back and pass those nuggets along. So I'm blessed in that.
Wow. Yes, you are. Well, working for the government, we broke. Let's want to go hear this. Like, wait a minute, what did she say? Yes, people always think, "Oh, you work for the government, y'all got money." Who said that?
Because y'all are contracted to us, and we can make it happen.
Yes, and there's another thing is people say that we need to be multitaskers. To me, I don't believe in multitasking. You can only focus on one thing at a time. So when you're trying to do all these things, guess what? You're going to fall short.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Something going to fail. So you need to prioritize.
Yes. What does that look like for you on a day-to-day basis?
Man, I have daily goals set.
Oh yeah, you're a tech.
Yes.
Why am I even talking to you about it? You got electronics to tell you when to go to the bathroom.
Yes, I do. So every day I have targets. I'm like, okay, I am going to meet this target today. If I don't, I get upset at myself. And one thing that really helps me is I know that if I meet my targets, guess what? I celebrate my wins, my quick wins, my small wins. So I want my treat. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I might be able to watch TV if I get this, or maybe I go to the spa at the end of the week, you know, if I accomplish X amount. And it's just something that satisfying to me. So it keeps me on task. Because, you know, a man wants an ice cream. You know, I don't eat a lot of ice cream. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, ooh, but I love it.
Right.
So I get ready to go to I can go to Cold Stone, or every Friday or every other Friday, I go to Chick-fil-A. I don't know what it is, but I go to Chick-fil-A every other Friday.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
Because I go every day.
So
we're not getting like a plug for boosting Chick-fil-A or anything.
No, we're not. You I talked about Chick-fil-A in one of my shows, and their customer service is just phenomenal.
Oh, it really is. It really
Man,
is.
they have the bomb team. Oh man.
I have to honestly say that and Starbucks. Starbucks
Oh
has
yes.
phenomenal customer service.
But see, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I've been there a couple of times.
You will, my team knows, like that coffee has to happen.
Man, another thing is they have to be strong communicators.
Yes.
Woo, communication is key.
Yes. Yes.
So if you cannot communicate, how are you going to have a conversation with your team? How are you going to get them motivated to do something for you? They won't. They're just going to be sitting there like, okay.
Yes.
So you have to be clear and open. Open communication. There are so many times where I have had leaders who did not communicate very well or often or at all.
Right.
So it just leaves you frustrated and just like, I just don't want to be here anymore. And working for that type of environment is just like, ooh, I just can't take it anymore. So women, if you don't hear anything else, take note, communicate with your staff. Don't try and hold information from them. It's not doing anyone any good.
Right.
Don't hold on to it so tight to where, oh my goodness, I can't tell them this because, they can, take my business away from me. They can take my job away from me. Do not look at it that way. Look at it as if the more they know, the less stress on you and the less you have to be there. I didn't say that again and again and again. So if you didn't write that down, you need to. Don't withhold all the information from your team. They need it. And it will relieve you. So stop it right now. Put a piece of paper right now. STOP ! Stop doing that.
Yes.
And another thing is learn how to handle crisis situations. Woo. Boy, I have some stories on this one.
Yes.
But we are almost at the end of the show. But I'm just going to leave it there. Look, don't be in crisis mode to where you're about to blow up a building or something like that. No. Don't do that. Right. Don't blow up. Learn how to handle it. Be calm and communicate with your team. You hear me talk a lot about teams. You need to have a team, a strong team beside you. So what do you say about that, Sharice? That crisis mode.
So in my profession, we're in crisis all the time. But honestly, how you react to it, it trickles down. So if you're calm, you're actually able to think through the process a little bit clearer. No, a lot, not a little bit. But honestly, your behavior sets the tone for your team. So if you're panicking, they're going to panic because they feel like we have to panic because she's panicking and I don't know what to do because she doesn't know what to do. So even if you feel like it's falling apart, take a minute, breathe, and then come together. If you don't know the answer, just say, hey, this one we definitely got to work through as a team. I don't know. It's okay to say you don't know.
Yes, it is. This has been a great show. I love it. This is one of my best shows. I love it. Sharice, thank you.
I love it.
For joining.
I will be back. I enjoyed myself. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. And we will see you guys next week. Same time, same place.
Thank you for listening to Women of Business Thriving, where Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley educates leaders on strategies women must take to thrive from the heart while leading successful businesses. The strategies shared from Dr. Lashley and her guests empower, inspire, equip, and elevate leaders to thrive from their heart. To learn more about Dr. Lashley and her quest to educate and encourage more heartfelt leaders, go to her website at drtracylashley.info.
You may also contact her by sending an email to info@drtracylashley.com. That's TRACIELASHLEY. Remember to always intentionally lead from the heart and strive to elevate to significance.